We are now live on Facebook. So hi bloggers, hey bloggers. I'm here today with my friend Corinne Schmidt, and I am Kate Blakely, your host in this group. And I am super, super excited about what we're talking about today because it's Printables, and I love Printables. My whole membership is based on them. And Corinne is actually a member of Printables and more. And today she's going to tell us about creating multiple income streams with Printables, right, Corinne?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Let me get a quick sip. All right, are you ready for me to start jibber jabbering now?
Girl. Yeah.
All right, and are you watching comments somewhere?
I'm watching comments, and then guys, if we have links for anything, I will also drop those in the comments after the live. Okay.
Okay, and you know, Kate, you know me enough to know I'll just ramble. So I don't mind if you butt in, like if I'm, if there's a question or something before I get too far down the road. So
okay, sounds good.
And fair warning to anyone watching this, I'm a big fan of video speed controller, like to speed up videos so it doesn't take as long, but I talk really fast. So just fair warning, if you're going to use that, you're going to miss some of what I say. I'm a fast talker. Okay. So I'm going to just dive in and start talking about, because I have a lot I want to share that will hopefully help someone, hopefully help lots of people earn more money, because that's really my passion, is helping people in our space make more money. And also as an entrepreneur, I guess we're not completely risk averse, but I'm really nervous about ever having all of my eggs in one basket. So in all areas of my business, I'm always looking for ways that I can diversify my revenue streams. And so I'm going to walk you through all the ways I do that today, specifically with Printables, since we're talking about Printables today. So I've got some notes I'm going to read from. So if not looking at the camera, that's why I'm reading my notes. But I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So I'm going to go over Printables in two ways. One is talking about how you can use like a small printable, so one that's like maybe 1 to 3 pages, and generate lots of different types of revenue from that. And then I'm going to talk about if you have a larger printable, one that's multiple pages, or how you can bundle those smaller printables to make money in other ways. So again, lots to cover, and I'm going to try and throw out as many details so you can actually do these things rather than just give you like kind of top level ideas to work from. So starting with a single printable. And again, this to me, it doesn't necessarily have to be just 1 page, but not something that you probably sell for, right? Like not something you'd normally sell to someone. It's a smaller value. So typically 1 to 3 pages. And phase 1 is creating the printable. Now, if this is not your forte, or you're not super speedy at it, so even if you're good at creating printables, but it's a slow process for you, and that's me. Like getting that initial design element is a little trickier for me. Once I've got a template, then I can fly because I understand how to move the elements. So for me, it works better to start with templates, which is why I'm in Kate's club, because I could start with the templates and then I can make tweaks, and I know how to do that. And that's a much faster process for me. So time-wise and money-wise, it makes more sense for me to pay a little bit to be in the club, get the printables, and then tweak them for my audience. So if you want to start with a template, if you're really good at that and you're great at starting from scratch, you don't need templates and you can create them on your own. But this is phase 1 of that small printable. You create the printable either from a template or right out of your head. Then when I'm in, and this is just my process, right, because I do it typically in Canva, and like in Kate's group, she shares them as the Canva templates. So while I'm already in there, I do the PDF, I do a PNG, I download it as a PNG, and I also download it as a JPEG. And it's just easier. While you're there, it's just clicking that mouse 3 times. And the reason I do it all at once, one, so I can start my folder so that I stay organized, because I do a lot of printables. But 2, you're going to need all 3 of those at a minimum, because you'll need the PDF, because that's how you'll deliver the product. You'll need a PNG later, like if you're doing any type of graphics, or if you've got to store PNGs display better. So I always have the PNG image, and then the JPEG if you're running it on your site, because the JPEG then, obviously uses up less space. So I download all 3 from there. If I'm on the ball that day and that's the mode I'm in, I'll also do the mock-ups just so I have those. Aside, take us on a quick aside here. For blog posts, many of my printables, when I do keyword research and I name the images, a lot of my printables, my actual printable post won't show up on page 1, but when I go to Search Console, it shows me as ranking as number one, because most printables will have an image featured snippet, right? Like when you go to search results, they don't take you to the first result. They'll show you images because people in general search for printables by the look of it. So if you can have multiple images in your blog post that, you know, show different ways, you have different mock-ups of it and different presentations of it, vertical image, horizontal image, all the different ways that, you know, you would create social media images anyway, then you can get that same printable, that one printable on page one, like 4 or 5 times, even if you're not ranking. Like even if you didn't do a great job with the post, or you're a newer blog and you just don't have the page authority or the domain authority, you can get your images on page one. So I always tell people that to do multiple images, lots of different styles, so that you increase your chance of showing up in that rich snippet on page one. So that was a tangent. Back to the creating the printable. You've created it, you've downloaded the PDF, the PNG, the JPEG, and then you've created your mockups and social media images, if that's your workflow. Sometimes I do that later in my workflow. Now, depending on what programs you have, I strongly recommend, and there are free options, and I wish, I probably should have done some research, and Kate, remind me afterwards and I'll go look for it, because there is a free way to do this. I have a paid one. I use Wondershare's PDF element. If you can take that PDF then and convert it into an editable version, and not editable in the way that Kate's are from the club, where you can actually edit the design elements, but fillable. So for a lot of mine, like especially if I do coupon books, like if I do printable coupons, I'll do one page that's blank. So it'll have all the design elements. I flatten the PDF so they can't move any of those. And I'll just put in text blocks in those coupons so that they can customize the coupons and make their own. And if you do things like that, or you have like a chore chart and you make it so they can put in their own chores, people will pay for that. So I can take a one-page printable, and I've done this a lot. I'll take a one-page printable, I give it away for free, I provide it as an opt-in, but I'll make it editable, and then I'll charge 99 cents for it. Or if it's a bigger PDF, you can get almost double, honestly, if you take any PDF and then make it so it's fillable or editable for the end consumer. So if you've got a way to do that, again, there are free programs. Some of them have a limit on how many you can do. So Small PDF and Sejda, I think Sejda. I don't think I'm making that up. I think those sites will let you do it for free up to a certain number. And I don't know if it's a certain number, like for life, or a certain number per month, but you're limited to how many you can do that. But if you're not doing a lot of printables, go look at those free options. If you think that printables is going to be a big part of your strategy, just go ahead and invest. Wondershare is not that expensive. And Kate, if you've got an affiliate link for it, by all means, share it. I think I might have one, so I can drop that, or just drop the link directly to it. We don't have to make money off of everything, though I try. So, all right, so create editable versions of the PDF. Another thing you can do, I don't do this. I don't know why, but it's an idea that I have, so I think someone else should do it, is to create multiple variations. So you give one for free. So let's say that you're doing fall wall art. Do 20 images, give 3 away for free in the blog post, and then offer to sell the rest. So especially if they're easy to recreate. So, you know, like again, the templates that Kate provides in the club, if you take those and off of one, you just pull in a bunch of different graphics and create several different variations, you could sell all those variations then. But you tease them with that one, and they come in and you give them the one for free, but then give them other options to pay for more, because you already know that they like it. So that's, again, why you're creating the printable, because it's just easier to make those changes and do those things at phase one. All right, so after that, you've got the printable created, you've done whatever you've chosen to do from those other 5 things that I listed. Now, the next thing I do is write a blog post. So this is where we're talking about monetization strategy 1. We're going to make ad revenue off of this. So first thing for me always is keyword research. So I dive in, I use key search. I don't know what you use, Kate, but I love key search. As far as, I've tried all of them too, by the way. So if you ever want to ask me to compare which one, I've paid for the big guys. I paid for SEMrush and I paid for Ahrefs, which are $100 a month. And honestly, I like key search better, which I don't even know what it is, but it's certainly less than $30 a month. But in terms of ease of reading the rankings and in terms of how accurate the data is based on whether I'm ranking or not from, the keyword difficulty it gives me, I find it to be a very prolific tool. So it's one I recommend. But anyways, do your keyword research in whatever tool it is that you like, and make sure that you choose a good keyword for your printable. I will say, just as an aside, a lot of times people don't know the word printable. I shouldn't say that nobody does. Most people, the average consumer does not search for printable, depending on your niche. In my particular niche, they don't. So I usually have to search with some variation that has worksheets, coloring pages, PDF. If you throw PDF in the search term, usually that will bring it up. So if you're not finding anything for printable when you're doing your keyword research, throw some of those terms in, or ask some of your friends, hey, if you were looking for a chore chart, like what words would you use? If you wanted to distinguish between like a digital chore chart or, like an app, and find out what other people use, because we think in a different language as bloggers. All right. So in the blog posts, you'll get ad revenue, right? Like you can get people to the site. Ideally, you're making ad revenue, but you can also then, and I do this in every single post that I do that's a printable post, is I include affiliate links. So tell them like what equipment they're going to need to print this, and be creative. Like obviously they're going to need a printer. Go ahead and link to it, because the people want to know which, like if you can say, this is the one that I use, right? Like I print a lot of printables. This is the one I use, and this is why. That always increases the likelihood that they'll click through to it. If it's like I'll do a lot of printable games, and I almost always recommend that they print those on cardstock. And I almost always recommend that they laminate them. And I get so many clicks and sales on those. Like I can see that in affiliate in my Amazon dashboard. So make sure you include affiliate links and talk about what tools you recommend and which ones you personally use. And then also, if you have related products, and I can show you a couple of examples of these, we'll get to that at the end if people want to see examples. But if you have a related product, like it's related to the printable that you're writing the blog post about, you can drop that in, and now you're making sales revenue too. So just from one action, a single blog post, you can be monetizing in at least 3 ways. So the ad revenue, the affiliate revenue, and sales revenue. And then my favorite, and people don't do this, and I don't know why it is. If you have a block here, you have a block here, and I'm just going to be one of those people that's going to lecture you about having that block. And if you're like me and you love it, you don't need to be convinced. You should always have an opt-in, especially if you're doing printables. We know the cookies are going away eventually. Really, if you don't have people on your list, whether you think that you want to email them or not, you're not going to have a way to reach people. I don't know how many social media algorithm changes we have to go through before people really buy in on this, that you need to be able to email people directly. You need to be able to reach your customers directly. They've already come to your site. They already like what you're doing. So find a way to get them back. So yeah, if you've got printables, those are such easy opt-ins. Go ahead and turn it into an opt-in so you can get them on your list. And then you can continue to earn affiliate revenue and product sale revenue and ad revenue off of those same people, the people that already expressed some interest in what you're doing. So that's from the blog post. Next step, you've created the printable, you've written your blog post, you've done all the things that I just said to do on it. Now, and this is my favorite, is to set up a tripwire. And we're going to come back to this a little bit later, because we need to talk about multiple page printables or groups of printables. But a tripwire, for those that don't know, and I think most of the people in this group do know, tripwire is just like after they opt in, they go to a special page that's like, oh, by the way, here's a special offer for my new subscriber, right? Like you've just signed up. I'm super happy to have you. Here's a special deal I'm giving just to you, right? For subscribing now. And it's usually one of your products at a very substantial discount. And people at that point, those conversions are typically really high compared to any other type of product sale that you're going to do. Because at this point, they still remember who you are. And that's not a negative reflection on your content or what you do at all. I mean, if you just think about your own personal life and how many sites you visit, like how many recipe sites you visit just making dinner, do you actually pay attention to the site that it's on until you've seen it several times, or you've done several searches and the same site keeps coming up in your search results? We don't. Like, we've got too many things to pay attention to. I can't even remember my kids' names most days, right? So Like people aren't remembering who you are, except for right after they've given you their email address. They remember why they're here. That was 5 seconds ago. So they are more likely to trust you at this point. They are excited that about whatever it is they've opted in for, excited enough that they gave you their email address. So they're more likely to give you money, especially if you start with a low ticket item. So I'd say for the first year I was selling products, all of my products were $4.99 and I tripwired them at $2.99. You're asking someone for $3. It's a ridiculously high conversion, I'm going to say. That's just my pricing. I know everybody's got a different pricing strategy. That's what worked for me. And it's where I'm comfortable. Like I didn't feel like I was asking for the moon with that price point, and people are happy to give it. So tripwire, that's sales revenue, right? So we've got the ad revenue for sure from the blog post. Whether or not you do what I'm telling you to do with ad revenue or adding other products, you may, or with affiliate revenue or other products, you may not get that. But if you set up a tripwire, you're for sure now getting sales revenue from that as well. All right. And then this is the one that I think not everybody thinks of doing. And it works really well for me. And it's going after sponsored posts. Like most people do not associate printables with sponsored revenue. I don't think. I don't meet a lot of people that's an obvious correlation. So, and there are different ways to do this. Like it's not just a one size fits all strategy. So one thing is you can take a popular post. So a printable that you published a while ago, it's already got some history on the URL. You can prove social shares. You can prove how much traffic it's getting by pulling up Google Analytics. And you can use that in pitches, in your sponsored post pitches, to add a sponsor to that post. Now, I haven't actually used that strategy with printables. I've done it with some of my recipes. Well, I have a popular recipe and I will, in a sponsored post pitch, say, hey, like I can work your pasta sauce into this very, popular, easy tortellini dinner I have. That was actually one that I did. And so I don't have to, it's so much less work. You take a couple extra pictures where you show the product, with the ingredients, or maybe, like usually my recipes like that I'm pitching in that way. I've made them myself. We eat them all the time. You take a couple extra pictures and you add the sponsor in a couple key places in the post. Way less work than starting from scratch. And the sponsor is happier than if you wrote a standalone post because this already has a proven track record. So you can do it with printables just the same. If you happen to be pitching something that is related to a printable that you've already created, that's already on your site, and you can show some history in terms of social shares and traffic. The other thing you can do, and this just makes you more attractive when you're pitching, because ideally we're not pitching for sponsored posts that don't relate to our audience, right? So we have created some other content that is relevant, right? That's the only reason we're applying for the sponsored post, because we believe it's a fit for our audience. So in that case, find another popular post that you've already created that makes sense to link to this and include that as part of your pitch. Like, hey, if you pick me, it just makes you stand out from everyone else. Hey, if you pick me, I'll link to this from my other posts. So it gives it Google juice. So, and this just shows an understanding of SEO and how traffic works. It's, again, going to make you stand out in the field of applicants. So that's just including a link, and it's not going to save you work on the actual sponsored post that you create, but again, it will make you stand out. So it's a nice thing to throw into the pitches. And then the other thing you can do is to create a new variation of a printable that you already have for a new sponsored post. So, you've already got say a printable chore chart. You want to do a new chore chart for the sponsored post. And again, you can show the history of the other posts and say, hey, I've already done this. Well, let's do a Halloween version, or, whatever it is. And then you can rework that printable. It's way less work for you because you've already done it. You already have the template. You change a couple of the graphic elements, and now the printable's done. And then you write the sponsored post around it. So now you've got sponsored revenue out of your printable. Okay. Am I talking too fast, Kate? Just nod. Okay.
No, you're good, girl.
All right. So that's how, with a small printable, you can do lots of different things with it, make money in lots of different ways. Now, once you have several of those, or if you've gotten more comfortable and you're getting it, because here's the thing, like product creation takes time, right? So it's really hard to convince us I was one of them, so I know this is true. It's really hard to convince us to take a big block of time to put towards something scary like product development if we don't know that we're going to make money from it. You know, if you've got a sponsored post, that they'll pay you as soon as the post is done, and you know that you know how to write a blog post and get traffic, and you'll make ad revenue from that. But products are, I don't know, we don't feel like we're salesy. At least that was me. So I don't want to put time into it. So that's why, like, it's nice to start with those smaller ones. And it's nice to start with a blog post because that's where you're already comfortable. But once you've tested that and you've set up a couple of tripwires, or you've created several of these standalone one-page printables, put them together in a bundle. Just bundle them together. All things that you've already created. Like, again, like we already have 1,000 things to do. So I'm all about like making one thing work in as many ways as possible and not adding more time and more work to your plate. So just take printables you've already created.
They love them.
Put them all together. Oh yeah. Like I always talk about how I'm a lazy blogger, but really I'm stingy with my time. Stingy with my time, and I really want to make as much money as possible. So this is one of those ways you do it. You just take all of the printables you've already created and bundle them together. And I know what you're going to say, because many people have said this to me, but they can just get it for free on your site. Like, why would anybody pay for that? Because we're not the only lazy ones with lots of other stuff to do. People pay for convenience. They do. And I swear that they do, because I've done this a lot on my site. In fact, I have a subscriber library that you can come into, and you can access all 200 plus of my printables for free. I've made it super easy for them to grab them for free, and they still pay for a bundle. They still do, because it's easier. They don't want to have 20 different PDFs. They want to have it all in one PDF. That takes you just a few minutes to put together for them. They don't have to go hunting. People don't want to mess with that. So people will pay for convenience. And if that gives you a crisis of conscience, tell them that that's what you're doing. Like, let them know right in the sales page. These are all available for free on my site. If that makes you sleep better at night, so for some people it does. These are all available for free. Like, let them know they can find them. This is how you go about it. If you get better things to do, here you go. Just hand it to them on a silver platter and charge them a nominal fee for giving it to them that way. So that is a really easy way to step into creating these products that you can sell, because you've already created the printables anyway. You're already using them. You already know people like them because the blog posts are getting visited and read, and people are opting in to get them. So bundle them together. That's the easiest product to create out the gate. And then what you do is you take that product, and we're going to go back to talking about tripwires now. And I think I am going to share for this, Kate. Let me, hold on. I got to click on my link to open my tripwire. Okay. I'm going to share really quick just to show you guys. If you already have tripwires, then people know what that is. And if you don't, it's very confusing as a concept. So when someone opts in to my, and actually, let me come back. You get to see behind the scenes at my notes. Okay, so I wanted to show you a blog post. So this is one of my printables blog posts. This is a printable reward chart. And you'll see, I did do actually, I made sure to pick an example that I did all the things that I'm telling you to do. So I've got all the different ideas for using it. And then, so here's my opt-in, right? And I use, just because I have so many and I don't want to, I transferred email providers a couple times. And when I used to have a separate individual opt-in for every single printable, that was okay when I had like 20 or 30 printables. I have over 200. So if I ever leave ConvertKit now, like I've got to recreate 200 opt-in forms. No, thank you. So I created 2 for my printables. I have one that is for my printables for kids. And then I have another one that's like for household printables. So I call and I think that is what I call them, homemaking printables. So depending on which type of printable post you come in, land on, you'll end up on one of those 2 opt-ins. So this one is the opt-in for the printables for kids. So, and I tell them, get access to dozens of free printable activities for kids. I've got a couple samples there so they know, and then they sign up. And so here, and this is always like how it is when in the post, because I use a template. So printable reward chart for kids, you can download and print it off. And I tell them, just fill in the form below, and then you're going to get access to everything, right? So they fill in their email, and then they get their welcome email that sends them to this page. And this is the tripwire. So here I tell them, like, welcome to VIP, because that's what I call them. I call them my Wonder Mom VIPs. Thank you for signing up. And then I tell them, because you don't want to annoy people, like, you can get to the VIP library. I know that's what you thought you were landing on here. Here's how you get to it. The button's right at the bottom. But before you go do that, here's this limited time offer. And it expires soon. And I'm pitching them my printable game cards. Now, when I started out and I had smaller, fewer opt-ins, so that I would have a very specific opt-in in each post, which is what I recommend doing it. Like, again, I'm just too lazy to have to create 200 forms. But if you did that, this is where, let's say that this chore chart, that's what this one is. Let's say this chore chart, I take this and a bunch of other things that relate to getting kids to do chores, perhaps that make it fun for kids to do chores, or maybe a kids planner, like all things targeted towards kids' responsibility. And they're all free printables on my site. Then I would bundle those together. And then ideally this tripwire would be that bundle. Oh, so you got that one page, but here are all the other things that are going to help you do that even better. Like, that's an optimal tripwire, because it's really tied tightly to what they came in on. Like, whatever they opted in for, this is related super closely. I've relaxed that rule a little bit, just again, for ease of how I run my operations. But anyways, so this is the tripwire. It's a limited time deal. I set it up for 30 minutes is what it normally is. So 30 minutes, I give it to them for 40% off. And then they can buy it right here on the page. And then or down here, they can click to go to the VIP library. So that's a tripwire. Kate, are you saying something? I've got noise on this side, so I wasn't sure if you're talking to me too. Okay. I'm going to keep going then. So that's a tripwire. So you see, I'm charging them $2.99. I sell it in my store for $4.99. You do not have to, but I do recommend having it in your store, because for the shoppers like me who are going to go look and see, like, is this really the best price? Is it really 40% off? And if you have it somewhere where they can find it and they can see that, you gain their trust and they're more likely to buy. So for mine, all they would have to do is come back to, hold on, let me scroll. They could go to my shop and they could look for, the Zoom screen it's in my, oh, there we go. So we would go to game cards, and you'll see it's $4.99 there. So it is a deal. I didn't lie. They can get it for $2.99. So anyways, that's a tripwire. And like I said, they convert really well because someone's opted in and given you their email address, and they still know who you are and they like you at this point in time. But again, an ideal tripwire from a product is if you've taken that product and included it in a bundle. So it's already part of the package that they're getting. So you already know they're interested in that topic. So that would be the ideal tripwire. But the other thing that you can do, and I do this with, hold on, I'm going to come back and share in a second. I got to click on some more things to open them up. You can bundle them depending on how many printables you create. You can bundle them multiple times. So I have this bundle of activity kits, and it's $9.95 for 5 of them. So I've bundled 5 of them together. Or you can get all of my activity kits for $25. So, and it's a much better deal. So here they're only $1.25 each, and here they're $1.99 each. So same thing. So what I do is I tripwire this product, and then I will upsell this. And again, in terms of terminology, tripwire is what happens right after they opt in, and then an upsell is after they buy that. And we've all been through them. If you're a blogger and you've ever bought a blogging type product, we've been through this funnel, right? Like, you buy something, they might offer you a bump offer, which is something that's like the same price, but they're giving that to you for a discount too. And then there's the upsell that's like, oh, I know you bought these templates, these 10 templates, but we'll give you 100 templates for just $37, right? So that's the upsell. So you can do that too with your bundles as you have more and more that you package together. Okay. Then let's see. Okay, the other thing that you can do, and this is one of the ways that actually I'm making a really nice, I'm a big fan of passive income or easy income. So one of the things I did when I joined Kate's group was I was like, I'm getting these printables every month, and I wanted the templates. That's really why I joined the club, was to get templates to make my product creation much easier. But then she also gives you the PDF. And so I'm like, well, I've already got these PDFs. And I know a bunch of other people are getting them. So I don't necessarily want to create blog posts with them, which would be my normal first step. So I'm like, what else could I do with these? So what I decided to do instead is I take those, and I don't know how much of this I'm going to show you. I'll explain it first. And then Kate, you let me know if anybody wants to see it or if you want to see it behind the scenes. So what I did was I started a membership group, and it's $10 a month, like on the surface. Like if you land on the wondermomprintables.com and you try to join, it's $10 a month. And I do get some people that somehow find that and sign up that way. But most of my people come in via a tripwire or on my printables page on my site, where I give it to you for $5. Like if you opt into my VIP library, you get the special discount code that lets you into the club for $5 a month, which I said at that price, I'm not going to get rich fast off that price, but it's a no-brainer price. Like if you like printables at all, and the number of printables that I'm giving them free every month, like, is substantial enough, nobody like really questions the value of it. You don't cancel a $5 a month membership. Like it's almost throwaway money. So that's why I set the pricing there. And I only talk about pricing so much because those are always my questions when I go to do stuff. Like I'm so confused about pricing. And again, everybody's different, and people that charge more and can make more, like kudos to you. And I love those people, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. For me, I think maybe it's a self-confidence thing. Like I never want to feel like, I just never want to have that conversation with someone when they're like, you're not giving me the value. So I tend to, I think, underprice, just so I know I'm never going to have to confront that conversation. So if you ever buy from me anything, I think they're usually pretty underpriced. So that's my pricing philosophy. But so that's why I spill out all my pricing, because you can look it all up anyway. But I like to know it when I'm hearing from other people. So the membership is, I set up the membership and it's $5 a month, and it just keeps growing because like I said, for the most part, people just don't cancel because it's a no-brainer price, and it's almost a forget about it price. So that's almost no work. Like I download the PDFs, Kate, and we've talked about this, like it's not a proprietary secret or anything. I download them, and then I keep track of them in an Airtable base, because I do everything in Airtable. I keep track of them in an Airtable base because one of the things I like about your club is you're always a few months ahead, but my readers aren't, right? Like they're not bloggers. So they aren't looking for Christmas stuff in September, October. They're looking for Christmas stuff in December. So I've got this Airtable base that I use to organize it. And I use things that I get from the club, which is how it originally started. And because I create a lot of printables and I also buy a lot of printables in the groups, I put those in. So I have a very elaborate Airtable base that lets me see what I've already included in a month, for my club, and lets me sort by like season and stuff, so I can see what's coming up. But yeah, so I have that club, but it's really just a matter of going in each month and picking the 10 printables I'm going to include, and then uploading them to my printables membership.
And then, so what are you using to do that? Are you using like Sendal? Are you just dropping them in a Facebook group?
Oh, so I am actually using SubHub. I bought it on one of the other things I do, I buy it on AppSumo deals a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. So I bought SubHub on an AppSumo deal. I don't know that it's a little clunky. There was a learning curve. I don't know that I would have used it if I had to be paying like a monthly fee for it. I probably would have switched over to something else by now. But it does work with ThriveCart, which is the payment process, is the sales cart software that I use. Works with ThriveCart, and I don't know, the membership club is very simple. So it's not like you need a bunch of elaborate pages, right? Like you just log in, grab your printables and go. So it does do the membership aspect. Okay. But
That's
again,
so
I don't
cool.
know that I'd recommend that to others if you didn't get it on the AppSumo deal.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that you went out and like created that extra income stream with adding the membership. Like I think that's so clever. That's not something I've thought of before. So I love it.
Recurring revenue is a nice thing. And, you know, again, again, it's all about like not having all your eggs in one basket. So like if advertising ever drops off and I really need to make more money from the membership, then what I could do is I could beef up the offering and charge more. Or, you know, there are a lot of things you could do because you've got these people that are giving you money each month. So which is really hard to do in our industries to get like set, you know, monthly income because it's like this, right?
It's so true. Like anything online, I feel like you don't know for sure what you're going to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did have some questions. Is it okay if I ask you some questions now, Corinne?
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to go over before we take questions?
I do have a couple more things, but I'm almost done.
Okay, so go ahead, and then we'll do these. Go ahead.
Okay, I am almost done. So the last thing I was going to talk about is using several different channels. So like as much as I am about diversifying the types of income that you can get from printables, I think where you I think a lot of people like, and I don't know why this is true, like they've picked their one way, right? Like you set up a store, like you either do a WooCommerce or Shopify. So one of the ways that it's little bits from every place, but when you add it all up, I've got $1,000 at the end of the month from the different places. So like, by all means, advertise your products when you've got products in blog posts on your sidebar, and a special offer if you're going to run like sales. You know, the hello bar is great for that. If you're going to run, or even like a site-wide sale, right? Like for Black Friday or whatever. So using the hello bar is great for that. If you have a resource page, and I strongly recommend that people do, if you have a resource page that you send your readers to, especially in the welcome series, like after they've opted in, make sure you've listed some of your products there, or on category pages. Like I said, I've got the Printables Club membership displayed prominently on my Printables category page. And then of course, in your own store, so Woo or Shopify. I will say one of my favorite tips for linking to stuff on your site, and again, I don't know that a lot of people, not that I'm brilliant, but it was a little aha moment for me, was Thirsty Affiliates. So I use Thirsty Affiliates for my affiliate links on my site. And I think Pretty Links, someone told me that Pretty Links does something similar. I don't use it, so I can't talk about it, but I think it does the same thing for those of you that have it. So you can create keywords, like you can link affiliate links or any type of link to keywords on your site. So like my friend Susan sells a scavenger hunt bundle, and I have a couple like scavenger hunts, but I don't have scavenger hunt products. But anytime that scavenger hunt shows up in a blog post, it's my affiliate link for her product. So it takes you to that. I use it for my pillar content, so to build internal links on my site, and I also use it to my own products. So anytime like children's activities or activity kits appears on my site, it links to my activity kit bundle. So Thirsty Affiliates, if you have it, by all means put it to use. Those of you that don't have it, but happen to be signed up with a maintenance plan with like iMark Interactive or WP Tech, Grits Design, all of those, I believe they give you, if you're on one of their paid plans, free access to Thirsty Affiliates Pro. So pro tip. And then Etsy shop. If you've got printables, please, please, please create an Etsy shop. If you have more than 5 printable products, that's not a rule for Etsy. I just think it looks naked if you log into somebody's shop and they don't have at least a few products.
Can I ask your opinion on something that people always ask me? Oh, sorry, my baby just burped. That people always ask me about Etsy is, do you feel like the shops need to be themed, or is it fine for it to be all different kinds of printables in their Etsy shop?
Mine has all different kinds, and I sell all different types. So I sell just as many of my emergency preparedness binder as I do of my activity kits. It doesn't seem to stop it. And Etsy has promoted both. I don't know if you don't use Etsy already. I don't know if people know this. Etsy will advertise so that, and you'll see it sometimes in search results, Etsy ads show up, but like in Google, but you don't pay for Etsy advertising unless they sell one of your products, and then they take a cut of the sale, which I'm all about. Like it was a sale I wasn't going to make. So another reason why you might want to be on Etsy, and they've got their whole own algorithm of figuring out what search terms are peaking and which products they're going to feature. So again, I've sold on Etsy both my emergency preparedness planner and some of the activity kits. It's funny, like in the summer, they promoted my camping activity kit. And, another time they did like under the sea. So like they'll pick random products and promote them. So somebody else is working to sell your products. Like I'm a big fan of that. So set up the Etsy shop. It doesn't cost.
Yeah, something else I love about Etsy is like, when people are coming to our blogs or Pinterest or basically anywhere else we are on the internet, they're just coming for entertainment and we kind of have to talk them into buying something. But at Etsy, they're there to buy things. Like that
they're
is
there
all
to shop.
they're there
Yeah,
for.
they've got their wallet in hand. That's true. That's a good point.
Exactly.
The other place I get a trickle of sales, and it's easy. Like it's with Shopify, it's an instant connect. Like it's just a connection you set up, and then you don't have to maintain it, which is why I'm a big fan of it. Is on Pinterest. So I get sales every month from my Pinterest shop. And it was a one-time setup and it just automatically pulls it. So anytime I add a new product to my Shopify store, it automatically shows up on Pinterest. And then Pinterest likes to send you reports letting you know how much you sell, each week. So anyways.
Yeah, I love that. And Pinterest really is going more product focused too. So if you can hook up a Shopify shop for things, you're more likely to rank with your other posts on Pinterest as well.
Yep. So, and then the last thing is with affiliates, which is a little trickier. I never used Sendowl, but I am an affiliate for several people that use Sendowl. I'll say as an affiliate, not a fan. However, as a business owner, in terms of an affordable option, I do think like that's where I would recommend people start because I think you can get on with a basic plan for them for $9. And again, you wouldn't do that until you'd already proven like with your own sales, like make sure that you've created something people will buy. But once you have that, as long as you think that you'll make more than $9 in sales through affiliates, Sendowl is an affordable option. I use for my affiliates ThriveCart. So anyways, and that's a hefty one-time fee, but I made back my one-time fee the first month I was with ThriveCart. So depending on what kind of sales you have, and then you can set up affiliates. And so on that, if you go look at the ThriveCart lifetime deal, I think it's like $300 or $400 to get the lifetime deal. And then they have an upsell to get, or a bump offer to add like the pro. You need the pro to have affiliates, and that takes you to $700 or $695. Like, we can all round up. Like, it's so funny. We all do it. I do it with my own prices, right? Like it's $299, it's $3, but it's $299. People see the two. So yes, it's $700. It's just under that, but it's really $700. But that's the one you want if you're buying it because you want affiliates. All right.
Yeah,
that is
and
my full spiel.
Well, I want to comment on ThriveCart because it's my favorite tool for my business by far because it's so versatile. And I really balked at the pricing at first because I am like if I could do something for free, I'm going to do it for free, But I love that I paid for it that one time, and now that was last year. I haven't had to worry about it since. Like it's not a monthly fee that I have to be concerned with.
Anytime I can get a lifetime deal, I do it. Sometimes that bites me because I've bought a couple lifetime deals that I'm like, it's too clunky, I won't use it. I've probably got 3 different keyword tools on lifetime licenses. It's nice to have because every once in a while I'll test it and I'll run like a keyword through all of them if I really want to know. But yeah, but the ThriveCart lifetime deal is a no-brainer. And I do. Did you get the email today, Kate? I think it's going away.
Oh yeah, I heard that it is. Well, they've been saying it for like a couple of years.
But I think they're close because they've got a big news that they're announcing tomorrow. So I think they finally like made an integration or did something big with it, which I see as the precursor to this step when they're going to take away the lifetime deal. So if anybody wants to snag that, now would be the time to get it. I don't think it's ever going to go down in price.
And I don't, my affiliate code for that never got approved. So if you want to share your affiliate, you can.
Nope, they won't approve me either. Apparently I don't have a big enough audience of people that buy that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, if somebody has an affiliate code, go ahead because we don't.
Drop it. Make that commission. So
so this has all been so interesting. I'm so glad you came. Let me see what these questions are, okay? Okay, so we have Tanya Clark. She says, where are you spending most of your time promoting your printables? Where does most of your traffic come from?
So most of my traffic is search. So from Google, which for anybody that's been putting off learning SEO, that's my drop everything you're doing and go figure it out. Because the thing about Google traffic is you make more money in all respects, because just like you were saying, Kate, with Etsy, people that are searching on Google are looking for the solution to their answer, like whatever their question is right now. So they also shop, right? Like they also search with the intent to take action. So advertisers pay you more for traffic that comes from Google. Anybody that's had a post go viral on social knows this to be true, because your RPM goes through the toilet. However, if you get it from a web story, it goes through the roof. So more advertising revenue, and they tend to buy more. So if they come through for a printable, like they were looking for a PDF, they are more likely to take your tripwire offer or in post offer if you have it. So search. To answer the question about where I promote, I'm a blogger, right? So I promote everywhere. So I pin everything. I'm not as great on Instagram, like that just never, and if anybody does TikTok, I'd love to learn from you. I don't do TikTok. I don't do TikTok, but I do think it's a great platform for bloggers and for influencers. I don't know. I don't do it. I'm afraid of video. So I don't do that, but Instagram I know does very well. Facebook doesn't let you promote digital products. So Facebook's not, yeah. So Facebook, I promote my blog post. But yeah, other than, pinning it and doing the keyword research so it shows up in search, like my promotion strategy is just to put it everywhere, right? Like my email newsletter is worked into like my VIP library, and yeah, everywhere that I can promote different products I do, and within the blog post itself.
And now you're saying that everyone needs to learn SEO. I know that you have a blogging membership where you teach different
all of this, yes.
blogging, right?
Yeah, all of this. So I have it with my friend Christina. Our name is the Smart Influencer. So we have the Smart Influencer podcast. You can look that up if you want to listen to us. We have the Smart Influencer Hive, and that's our membership group where we just kind of vomit like this all month long, so this month it was about affiliates. We're trying to get people ready for fourth quarter. So we both, we're not gazillionaires, but we're both six-figure bloggers. We both built it, just really in our free time. We think a lot alike, so we mesh really well. So, we don't claim to be experts at anything, but we do show you what's working for us. Like this is how we're making money right now. I make decent money from printables and from my product sales. So I'm happy to talk about that. SEO is, again, not an SEO expert, but it makes me giddy. It gives me butterflies talking about SEO. I do love SEO.
It's like magic.
Yeah, it is. Well, and it comes with dollars. So
yeah, which is the fun part. Yeah,
I do love the dollars.
I would imagine that your community is actually probably a really fun place to hang out, because I did get to come and do a live with you guys, and yours and Christina vibe is so laid back and fun, and it's just like chatty. But even when I was there, I learned something. So I think it's awesome.
It is. We were going. That's why we were trying to recreate the like the hotel lobby vibe that you get from conferences. Because we've always said, like most of our learning back in the day when we used to go to conferences, pre-COVID, we learned the most when you were sitting next to some blogger in the lobby, or, went to grab dinner with someone. That's when we learn all the little tips and tricks from people. So the strategies in the sessions were sometimes helpful, but the nuggets that you left the conferences with were always from those interactions. So that's kind of what we've tried to create over there. So
I love that. And we are going to drop the link for that in the comments after we do our live. So if you guys are interested in joining, is it open right now, Corinne?
It is. And in fact, Christina and I created a special offer for your group because we love you. So it's just, you get in for the first month for $1. So if you just want to come check us out and see, because different personality types, it may not be how you like to learn, or you might not get anything out of it, and we don't want to take your again, I underprice. I don't ever want anyone to feel like they just didn't get value out of it. And then after that, if they decide to stay, normally we charge $49 a month, But if you come in on this $1 trial, you get to stay for $25 a month if you continue the membership.
Holy cow, you didn't tell me you were going to do that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, well, we do have one more question. So let me hit you with that question. And then if you have anything else you want to share, you can, or we can just go. But this last question says, do you have your paid printables in a Shopify store or someplace else? Which you kind of answered that you're kind of everywhere. But
I do have a Shopify store. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have an Etsy store. So you have both there in that. Mm-hmm. But then where do you keep your resource library? Is it hosted in your Shopify store, or what are you doing with that?
No. And I can, hold on. I have it. I have pulled it up in case anyone wanted to see what that looks like. Also, because it gives me a chance to talk about Airtable, which after SEO is like, actually, maybe even before SEO. I love Airtable.
You love Airtable
so much. So this is my resource library. So when you come here, it tells them thank you for signing up. And then I created this video that walks them through how to use it, because Airtable is something that not a lot of people are comfortable with. And I give them two options. Like if they want to use it in Airtable, which is super convenient because you can access it on your phone, you can sign up for the account, and then you can go to the Printables library, which is here. This is what opens up for them. And so they're all in here, and I have them, got to move the Zoom window. They're all by category. And then you'll see they have the link to the printable and the link to the post. So if they want to go read about it, and then it's totally searchable. So, we can find I can go look for game cards, like my forehead game cards, and then they can access it. Again, there's the printable link and there's the link to the post. And these are all,
okay.
Yeah.
My mind is blown. I thought Airtable was like Trello. Like, what's happening here? What is this?
Oh, they do have Kanban views. You can do it like Trello, but these I did in gallery views because that's how people like to see it. You'll see most people think it's spreadsheety, right? Like, because it looks like it sounded like I said a bad word, but I said spreadsheety. So anyway, they have that view. Yeah, they have all these different views. So yeah, this is why I love Airtable, because no matter how you like to work, there's a way for it to work for you, right? Like super visual people like this.
I have always been a diehard Trello person, and everybody's like, no, switch to ClickUp, switch to Asana. And I'm like, no, but I see this and I'm like, I might be switching. This is amazing.
I will, give me 5 minutes. I will win you. I'll win you over. Yeah, I manage my whole blog. In fact, that's one of our smart influencer products. We've got Christine and I run our entire blogs out of here. We run our teams out of this. I manage my entire content workflow. Our live pinning schedule. So I have my VA do all my live pinning and all these shares to Facebook groups out of here. So we have a social media base. I also keep putting everything in Airtable just saved me so much money. I can't even tell you, because in my content workflow, because I buy a lot of content and I buy a lot of printables, I forget to follow up with people, or I go looking for something 6 months later and realize I forgot to download it. So now I just have a thing in Airtable. So anytime I buy it, I go add that, add a new record and what date I purchased it. And at the end of every week, it's part of my Friday workflow. I go and I check and make sure that I received everything that I've purchased that week, whether it was a recipe or a printable. So I haven't lost anything since I moved over to that. But all the times I got to grab my hex code or my EIN, that all lives in my business and brand base. Yeah, I love Airtable so much. But this is my printables library. It all lives here. And then they can't, so that's option one. They can do it there. But for people that don't want to sign up for a new thing, it's free. It's free. I don't know why they wouldn't want to, but some people, they don't want another app. They don't want to sign up for anything. They can search for it right here. So this is the whole thing, but it's again, over 200 printables. So if you're looking like this, it's going to take forever. So they can use the search bar, and again, if they wanted to grab all of my Halloween stuff, they can do that, and they can find it right here on this page.
That's incredible. I would have never thought to do it that way. That's amazing.
So yeah, and I feel like this way, when you come in and you see how much is there, you really feel like you got your I got their email address for this, right? So you didn't just get one printable. And then this is where I was talking about here, when you first log on, this is what comes up. So they get the offer for the Printables Club. So that's where I pitched that.
That's neat. And so they can't edit this. They can only download from this. Is that right?
Yes, it's only view only. So
that is so cool. I'm so glad you ended up showing us that because I've never seen that done that way before. So that's neat.
So that's how you have that set up.
Yeah. So if you guys want to learn more about how to do amazing things like that from Corinne, definitely check out her membership, and she's going to give you the first month at $1. And it sounds like after that, you're only going to pay $25 a month, which is amazing compared to her regular pricing. And if you are interested in building a printables business like Corinne, definitely check out Printables and More Club. It's not open right now because I'm doing some revamping. So you're going to be seeing Printables and More 2.0 here in a couple of weeks, where we have a lot more training and we have some other resources. But Corinne, before we go, is there anything else that you want to say to them?
Actually, I want to plug Printables and More a little bit more, just because I don't know that people really understand the value of that. And again, is probably actually, it's one of those things I feel like is good for lots of different people. So even if you're great at design, so much of it's already done for you, like, and just to have the extra templates to work from. And I know you've probably covered this in here before, she doesn't just give you the printables, which is what like I was most excited about. I also really struggle with the social media, and I use a lot of VAs that help me with stuff. So anytime I have VAs, I love to create templates for them or just give them. I just shared my folder with my team of all the templates that I've gotten from Kate. So because she gives you pin templates, Facebook templates, IG feed templates, and IG story templates, which for the mockups, I think are the hardest thing for me to teach my VA. Like she just struggles with the mockups. So the templates are essential there. And I don't know, I just rather spend my time doing keyword research, I guess, or playing in Airtable. It's not where I like to spend my time. So definitely check it out. It's well worth every penny. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I love the club. And like I said, I have been adding a lot of training. So we added an ISI training last week. I'm going to be doing a funnels training this week, and we have guest experts coming in. So it's going from being just templates to being also a learning environment for people who feel like maybe they couldn't sell printables or didn't know how before. So I'm super excited about getting that out in front of you guys in a couple of weeks. And like I said, definitely check out Corinne's membership with her $1 deal she's offering. And I'll drop that in the comments right after, guys. We'll see you later.